Hi, everybody. We are back for our very first session of today, and it is with our sponsor, Artistprix. I'm going to bring EllyMae in because she is doing the demo for Artistprix today. We are so grateful for all of our sponsors, and Artistprix has, they always support us. So I am going to answer one question before I turn it over. Somebody asked, do we craft along with them? And Mary answered it. But yes, it depends upon how you work. These are demos. The sponsor ones are pretty quick. You might not have all the supplies, but Ellie will take you right through it, and I will pop out and watch for questions. You got it.
Okay, thank you, Anne. Hi, my name is EllyMae, and I am with Artistprix for this video today. You can also find me on the Artistprix YouTube channel. My hands are in the video. You'll see me demonstrating for the last couple of years for them. This is going to be super quick, so I'm going to talk about the supplies as I demonstrate the project, and then I will also post a supply list with the finished photos in the Facebook group as well as a PDF file that you can download. So today's video, I think, Anne, we can go ahead and go to the overhead camera. Today's video, if you have never worked with anything with Artistprix, Artistprix is sublimation, which is a really cool, like, magic trick. Sublimation is science. We're going to be working with these jewelry blanks. Sublimation works with products that are specific for sublimation. So it is a process of using inks, which I do believe that there is a little goodie in your swag bag if you receive that. I'm going to be working with the ink pads today, but they do have other products. And then it is a specialized blank that when you heat up the ink, it transfers from an ordinary sheet of copy paper onto that surface. It's an ink transfer to the blank. So it is science and magic. It just turns into a gas, transfers, and we'll see that finished product here. So I'm going to go ahead and get started with this. You just need some basic supplies, scissors, pencil. Pencil does not transfer to sublimation. So you can use that to draw out onto your copy paper. Oh, I may only be able to do one today. This one's already stuck in there. Oh, there we go. Okay, so we have our specialized surface here. This is a jewelry pendant from Artistprix. One side is white. That is your sublimation side. The other side is your back. It is silver. So I'm going to just start here by taking one of these, using a pencil. Pencil, this is great because you can get an idea of where your blank is, so you can color around it. So I'm just going to draw 2 circles here. And then the best part about this is you can color outside the lines. You do not have to be perfect. I love Artistprix because it just helps me to let go, because I am a perfectionist and I love the way things turn out. It's not always how I think it should be, but it is great. The magic just shows up. So with this, you can use a lot of your crafting supplies, such as your stamp making supplies. So I have just grabbed 2 stamp sets that I brought home from Hawaii, actually. So these are a smaller surface. So I'm just going to take these stamps out of here, peel it off. I haven't even used them yet. This is my first project. So with acrylic stamps, I just take it and rub it on the, excuse me, on the edge of the oils on your skin are going to help with the ink transfer. If you've ever done any stamping with that, I'm going to take this and I'm actually going to take my ink pad. I'm going to flip it over and I'm just going to apply light pressure. This way I can ink it and not squish that ink. And then the first thing I'm going to do is just stamp onto my jewelry template blank. And there's the first part of my design. And then I'm going to just take this off. I'll clean that in a second and grab another one here. These jewelry pendants make great gifts. You can make necklaces, bracelets, tumbler charms, all kinds of things. I'd love to hear your ideas of what you would make. I'm going to turn that back over. Gives you a little bit more control over your ink. If your ink pad is really juicy, you can get a lot of ink transfer there. So I have 2 images here. This is sublimation ink on there. And then I'm going to do a little watercolor technique with this. So this is So much fun. Even though these are stamp inks, I'm going to take those. I'm going to use this multi-purpose stamp cleaner because I did get some ink onto my block. I'm just going to clean that off so I don't transfer the black ink. And then I'm going to take my blue ink pad and I'm just going to add a little bit of ink here onto my acrylic block. You can use any smooth surface that's not going to dry out right away, but I can just kind of get some water with a little paintbrush, nothing fancy, and I can just start coloring this in. And this is where you can just color outside the lines. The more water you add, the lighter the color is going to be. And with sublimation ink, it is going to be lighter than your final product. So the colors pop and get that brightness from the heat and the pressure. So we will be pressing this at 400 degrees for 45 seconds. So I'm just going to give it a little bit of a blue background. And then I already used up my ink there. Just transfer a little bit more. And I'll do the same on this one. Get some more ink. I love all the different techniques that you can use. Any of your stamping techniques you can really utilize with your Artistprix supplies. They do have paints, which are going to be a thicker media, and you can thin those out as well. They also have markers, which can be used with your cutting machines. Any machine that can use sketch pens or draw can also be used with your Artistprix markers. You also have ink refills. Originally, I believe they were designed just to refill the ink pads, but people have really embraced everything and use them in spray bottles, watercolor brushes, all kinds of different ideas. So I'm just going to take a little bit of pink, color in this flower here, and I am using copy paper, so I'm being very careful on how much water that I am applying to it, but you can also use mixed media paper. You don't have to. Artistprix products do not require sublimation paper. And the best part about this is it's copy paper. So if you mess up or you don't like your design, just make another one. Save your design though. You may like it later. So I'm just going to add a little bit of yellow in here. I did get my pink in this little stem. But we have our designs are already done. So you can make it as complex as you want or as simple as you want. And then I'm going to take my scissors and just cut these templates out. My press is over here on the right-hand side. It is heated up to 400 degrees. It's a little bit warm in my room right now. Almost 400 degrees, and it's going to be pressed for 45 seconds. So these are metal blanks. You do want to be very careful when you're handling the products afterwards. I do have the Artistprix protective mat. This is one of my favorite craft supplies that I use for all kinds of different things, not just Artistprix, but if you do other sublimation or you're working with hot materials, this protects your work surface, and it was rated, I think, up to 400 degrees or higher. Now you're going to take your blank. White side is going to face down. When you do this, sublimation is an ink transfer. So anything that you have on your copy paper is going to be mirrored. So you want to keep that in mind when you are working with text. You'll find some videos on the Artistprix YouTube channel where I work with text and show you some tricks for that. I'm taking some heat tape. This is rated for the high heat that you use with sublimation. If you use other types of tape, it can become a sticky mess. So you want to make sure that you're using heat tape. And I'm just going to secure the blank. Because this is an ink transfer, you do want to secure your blanks as much as possible. Sublimation is permanent. And so once that ink transfers, if there's any air in between that, that can cause things like ghosting. Now I'm going to use some Artistprix protective paper. This is siliconized protective paper that is going to protect your workspace. As I said, it is an ink transfer. So as that ink transfers, if any of it, or I have these little areas around here that are outside the coloring lines, any of those could off gas onto my heat press bottom or top platen. So I'm going to protect my workspace. So I'm just going to cut this. This is the loudest part of the process. I'm just going to cut a piece off. I'm going to fold this in half. And since these are both, actually I can do both of them separate. I'm going to fold this in half, create a taco. If you have larger items, you can do it as a sandwich. Do this one. And then I'm going to make my sublimation sandwich or taco. I have a layer of protective paper on the bottom. My blank is going to go down with the print on top. And I'm going to put a layer of protective paper on top. And I'm going to put this on my heat press. Same thing here, protective paper, my blank, my print is on top. You want the heat to hit the top of that print. And then I'm going to place this into my heat press. And I'm going to press this at the high pressure and for 45 seconds. And then once that comes off, we're going to let that cool just a little bit. Like I said, it is very, very hot, 400 degrees for 45 seconds. So we want to make sure not to burn ourselves. And that's why I like this protective mat. I'm going to pull this off using the protective paper and then place it on the mat to kind of cool down. On the table here, I do have some demonstrations or things that I've made that you might see on the YouTube channel. It's going to be a little bit upside down, but I have magnets here that I've created with stamps. These are sketches on for coasters that I used my cutting machine to sketch out with. More stamping. So I'm going to release this very carefully and just kind of let that settle and then release the press. You do want that tight adhesion between the blank and the sublimation paper, the copy paper, so that your image transfers and does not do any ghosting. Ghosting is it's kind of self-explanatory, but it's lighter. It'll be washed out. And I'm just kind of letting that settle so I don't burn myself. So I'm going to bring these off here, not touching my blank. And you can, I don't know how closely the camera can see, but you can kind of see my images through that. So over here, while that cools just a second, this is another jewelry blank that I created using the Atresprix heat resist mask. The white is actually a mask that you cut with your cutting machine or punch with punches that you can apply to your blank, and then the color will not go underneath it. So you can create all kinds of different things with their products. And then I just beaded a chain, which you'll learn some beading skills this weekend as well. That's where I learned it, was from Jules. Luggage tags. Or you can turn a luggage tag into a ornament. So all kinds of different products that Atresprix does have for their blanks. These are now cool. And I'm going to carefully reveal those. Ooh. And I always get excited, so I am back here oohing and awing. Every time I reveal a project, well, not every time, sometimes I mess up, but that's also part of the fun. You just never know what's going to happen, and it really is magic. Sometimes the hardest part is peeling off the protective paper. Oh, and here's another one. So here's the one with the blue background, just with the stamp ink. And then another one. So we have those. The final step for this is just going to be peeling off this protective layer on your adhesive. And then you're going to place it however you would like, directional if you have a direction. Once it's stuck, it's probably stuck. Same thing here. Peel that off. And then I would recommend letting this set up for 24 to 48 hours. You know, let that adhesive really set for your product before you are subjecting it to throwing it in a bag or anything like that. It's just a good idea for most things. So That's as simple as it is. You can use your stamping supplies. You can use punches, cutting machines. Yeah. So do we have any questions, Anne?
You know, Ashley is in here and she has been just on top of all those questions. The only one I think maybe she didn't get was somebody asked, let me see, I think Mary asked if that was a paint puck you had your brushes in.
Yes, it is.
Okay. It works perfectly, doesn't it?
It does. I find I use it a lot with my projects.
Yeah, no, it's great. Here, I will put you on camera now. And
wow, 15 minutes. I'm sorry, I can't see the camera there. 16 minutes. Wow, that's pretty darn good.
You did good. Because let me see, I'm going to come in and remove this. You know, the sponsors have 20 minutes, so she did great.
Yeah, and I'm usually not a quick talker. So as you'll see, I like to show the step-by-step of everything, but I do want to share this one as well. This is a tote bag. This is, you can use all kinds of products with this. This is all hand-drawn and watercolor background. So there's so many options that you can do, whether you are a freehand drawer. I'm not an artist. I am not a hand drawer. I don't think of myself that way, but the Artistprix products have really allowed me to just experiment and to step outside of my comfort zone. And I love the way it turns out. Sometimes you just don't know until you see that final press how things are going to work. So
right. I mean, it can be iffy.
Yeah.
Laura Lee did ask, do you have any tips or ideas for character critter stamps? They're gonna print in reverse of what it would if you were on paper.
Right. It's going to be a mirror image. Yeah. So if you do have anything that is text, check out the Artistprix YouTube channel. I share some tips on doing the text, but otherwise, most things, if it's just an image like the turtle and the flower, those can go either direction. Yeah. They're not directional. Mm-hmm. Only in our heads are they typically directional. We think that it's wrong, but once you get it onto the paper, it's not. So the biggest thing would be text.
Yep. And Artistprix is doing a giveaway. I'm going to bring Lisa in here because we're going to do our first giveaway, and Lisa is the queen of giveaways for this event and for our lives. And it is $100 gift. I thought you had your crown on.
I was working on it.
I saw her in the background with her crown on, and she took it
I was working on it, but I have to pull my hair up, put it on because there's not enough to hold it.
Okay, I'll remove you for a second. You can get your crown. So it is $100 gift package from Artistprix, which you get a lot, right? I mean, for $100. So
if you need suggestions, just let me know because I have favorites, but
okay, my crown is not cooperating this morning.
It's kind of crooked, but it's fine. Anyways, right, we sent that to her last year during the event. It was a surprise.
It's actually heavy, but I don't have a whole lot of hair to hold it up. So, I got to kind of connect it to a.
Okay, so the winner is
they're here. Mary Reynolds.
Woo-hoo! Mary, you are here. Congratulations, girl.
Mary. Yeah, sorry. Okay.
There. Just hold it there. Just hold it there, Lisa.
See, we just have fun, guys.
We do. We do.
So thank you so much, EllyMae. This was perfect.
It was. Great job.
I will post the supply list and I will do finished photos of these so you can see them up close. I'll post those in the Facebook group. So I'll have the supply list for what I used since it was a very quick demo. And I talked through the supplies as I went through them. But if you do have your swag bag too, I believe there's something in there.
There might be something in there for those of you who haven't opened yours yet. I'm going to remove Lisa because she's going to jump in real quick with Pink and Maine. They're on in 10 minutes.
So check out that swag bag, have some fun playing with it, and just let yourself go. It's not perfect. It's copy paper.
Right.
If you don't like it, set it aside. Don't throw it away. Set it aside. And I have prints that I've saved for years. You know, as long as they're kept dry and don't get wet, then you're okay with that. You can pick them up and use them again for other projects, but you might like it later.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and when I first heard of Artistry, what I loved was the fact that I could give them markers to my grandkids.
Yes.
And they could just color, they could do whatever they wanted.
Yeah.
And we could put that on items for them.
Yeah. So many ideas that you can do with that product.
Yeah. Yeah. It is amazing. It's a great product. And for people that want to sublimate, but really don't want to have the printer and all the expense.
Yes.
This is so great.
Yes.
Because they have markers, stamp pads, paint.
And inkers. So little bottles of refill ink that can be used for all kinds of things. And I will say, I do have a sublimation printer, but I have to print on it regularly, even though it's a dedicated sublimation printer. And I think this just is a little bit more of your handmade. You can do graphics on your sublimation printer, but this is a little bit more handmade and a little less investment into whether you want to get into it or not.
Yeah. Yeah. So thank you so much, you guys. Thank you for being here. We will be back in about 10 minutes. The link will be in the group, and we will see you on the inside. Thanks, Ellie.
Yep.
And thank you, everybody. Thank you, Ashley from Artistry.
I'll see you tomorrow.